I'm Deborah Schaus, and I'm the CEO of Aster Aging. Aster has been empowering and supporting older adults in our community since 1979. Becoming an accredited service enterprise organization is probably the best thing that any nonprofit can do for itself these days. We all need more resources. We all want as much success for the people we serve as possible, and we need help to do it. The Service Enterprise program helps us learn better how we can best make use of the incredible time and talents that are out there in the community to support our organization's mission.
The Service Enterprise Initiative from the ASU Lodestar Center and Alive provides your nonprofit with training and national accreditation in strategic volunteer engagement. If your organization is committed to implementing exemplary volunteer management practices that will achieve operational efficiency and greater social impact, this is the program for you. Our data shows that accredited service enterprises experience a 23% increase in volunteers annually. The Service Enterprise Initiative, or SEI, is built around a cultural change model that will help you achieve the 12 key characteristics of a service enterprise. We'll focus on the leadership involvement characteristic in our discussions with 3 CEOs of accredited organizations. Your team will start with a research-based assessment of your organization. Then, the program begins by establishing a foundation to assure the successful engagement of volunteers and community resources. Later modules and coaching sessions will teach best practices in volunteer engagement and how to measure and communicate your impact. The accredited organizations you'll hear from next have used their SEI experiences to put new systems and strategies in place with the full commitment of executives and board members to promote and support volunteerism across their organizations. These CEOs are setting the tone for the rest of the employees and the volunteers.
With our organization, somebody, depending who they contacted, whether it was stopping by a senior center or calling our Meals on Wheels office, we weren't centralized with volunteerism. So whoever they contacted first, that program supervisor would nab that volunteer and that would be done. It taught us through the process to really look at how we build a bigger volunteer program that can support all of the great work that all of our staff are doing throughout the organization. We need to keep in mind as we talk about volunteerism, it isn't only our special event volunteers or only our program volunteers, but our board leadership themselves are also volunteers in the organization. But as leaders of our organization, they have a critical role in oversight in general, and especially of overseeing the resources and the good use we're making of important resources like our volunteers. So here at Aster, it's twofold. On the one hand, we have the practices that we built and strengthened as a result of the service enterprise journey of how our board recruits new members, how we onboard them, how we train them for sustainability, but also we've ensured that we include volunteer engagement per adoption by the board as one of our strategic plan priorities. And as such, that's always on the agenda of every board meeting we have, as well as of our program committees and other related committees. And at each of the meetings, the board now expects that there needs to be a report on what's happening in terms of our volunteer engagement.
Hi, my name is Tom McKinney. I'm the CEO of Interfaith Community Services, or ICS. We have a almost 40-year history of working in the social services space in Tucson, providing services to over 60,000 people, utilizing 700 volunteers. Our mission is to provide pathways that lead folks to a more stable and self-sufficient life. When I started at ICS, it was the volunteer manager that ran the volunteer programs. But we had to bring a team together to do this and to really evaluate each and every aspect of our volunteer program. And I think the greatest learning for us was If you had asked us before the SEI program or process, we would have said we had 1.5 people that help manage 700 plus volunteers. And the learning was that actually all of our staff were volunteer managers, volunteer coordinators. Our volunteer manager processed and oriented and then spread them out. But that's who was getting all the volunteer training. And what we realized is, wow, the people that work in the food bank, the people that manage our drivers, all of those folks needed some training and development in working with volunteers. So it was, besides what it said to the public that, we care, that we're looking to always be better at it, it really made us take an in-depth look at how we operate. Besides their day-to-day work and in their specific department with their volunteers, we encourage the staff to volunteer in a different department outside of their realm, so that they get to meet other volunteers, but also experience the feeling of what it's like to be on the front line in a food bank, or driving a client, or working with them on getting a resume done. And it really gives them a different perspective of the value of volunteers. They know what the power is in their own department, but now they're experiencing what they're helping us do. We call it their heart goal. It's a goal that they all set, all 40 plus staff at the beginning of the year, saying, I'm going to volunteer. If I'm in senior transportation, I'm going to volunteer in the food distribution area, or I want to do this. And it's transformative when they experience it that way alongside other volunteers.
Hi, I'm Paul Mulligan, the President and CEO of Catholic Charities Community Services. I think the value of becoming a service enterprise organization for Catholic Charities, it really validates the culture that we have, the priority we have around volunteers in our organization. To be able to say we're service enterprise organization is just, it really carries a lot of weight for us. So not only does it validate what we're doing, it's also a wonderful tool to help attract people in, recognizing, we're really an accredited program. It's a high stakes mission that we have, serving the most vulnerable people. So to bring people in that want to volunteer and be part of that mission means a lot for us to be SEI. Going through the process of service enterprise, that institute, it really ends up becoming kind of an examination, right, of what your best practices are. What are you doing well? That's a good confirmation to have, but where do you need to improve too? And I think that the research-based tools that we really experienced in the enterprise program, those were helpful. We could quantify things, we can measure things, and that's part of our overall culture anyways at Catholic Charities. So how nice to really bring that into the volunteer component of what we do. I think that's a great value for somebody that's thinking about this program. We like to give a lot of visibility to the work that we're actually doing with volunteers through a number of ways. Our board of directors, they have access to the same information that we share with staff. At our committee meetings, we've got staff reporting to them specifically on, the quantitative, the numbers that they want to see of impact that volunteers are having in the organization. That's part of our actual external affairs committee of the board, and these things right up to the board of directors itself. That's great because they themselves are volunteers, right? Board members are. They have a personal appreciation for running a really good volunteer program. So they know as volunteer board members how important volunteering is. It means a lot for them to see the impact that way. But we do a number of other things too. You'll see in the annual impact report, for example, that we generate a focus on volunteers. You'll see in social media stories, spotlight on volunteers. You'll see in a number of different ways throughout the organization's communication cycle that we just bring volunteers into the picture. When you've got people that are doing everything from working on your database to helping at maybe our Center for Help and Hope 57-bed shelter in Bullhead City, right, really across the whole region, it's important to be able to show volunteers are making a difference. They're out there and they're visible.
My name is Shannon Hill. I'm the Volunteer and Community Engagement Manager here at Catholic Charities. The Service Enterprise initiatives have been invaluable because they have truly driven the initiatives that actively engage volunteers in the mission that we are serving the communities most vulnerable. It transforms our culture from utilizing volunteers to depending and incorporating volunteers' heart, passion, vision for their community, where they are now no longer just supporting the team. They are incorporating and being a part of the team. Through the process of service enterprise, we discovered some of the gaps that we had. And in learning those gaps, we were able to collaborate and bring together resources, really tangible resources that we could offer our programs in the management of volunteers, but also that they would understand the importance that they played. The accreditation is an investment of your time and resources. That is true. But the process also allows you to gain a very realistic expectation and understanding of the culture of volunteerism in your organization. With the support and guidance of the team in the accreditation process, team members will collaborate, resulting in a more thorough understanding of the importance that volunteers play in your mission.
Your organization should achieve your service enterprise accreditation because it's going to allow you to achieve your mission so much better.
It will show you the multiplier effect.
Because it's going to add a lot of value to the work that you do.
It will change your culture.
You should become a service enterprise because it will transform the work that you do.
Going to help you identify where you're strong and where you could be stronger. That's really gold.
And it will make the difference that you seek to make in your community.
Volunteers can be engaged in all aspects of your organization. We just all need to learn how to do that better and to ensure it happens and to make use of this incredible talent that is available in our communities.
Even if you're good at volunteerism and managing volunteers, it truly will help you analyze how you could be better at it.
So let me just encourage you, become a service enterprise organization.